All right, so let's do this recap again. I want to do today, but I want to make sure I covered yesterday because it was a disaster. Now, the first trade was beautiful. It was an aggressive entry, opening range breakout. As soon as we broke the pre-market high, I got in, hit my first target, and the candle opened here, and it started pushing up. Well, this first candle, because this was an aggressive entry, I entered on the first 5 minute candle. So here it put the 5 minute high in. And so because we were going into a new setup, I just went ahead and added to what I had. Now, I added into this and it pulled back, and I had my stop already in it, break even. I made a mistake. I never went back and changed the share amount. When I added back, I didn't add the share amount on my stop. So as it was flying back, it stopped me out from the original position I had left, which was 100 shares, but it left the rest of it on. And this thing washed. If you were watching yesterday, this thing flushed so damn fast. There was nothing I could do but just kind of hold on. So the candle opened. In my infinite wisdom, I added. Okay, I'm just throwing, at this point, I don't even realize that I'm out of sync. I don't even realize it. I am so far off my rocker that I don't even know. I don't even realize it. I think I'm doing right. So I add, thinking we're going to recover now because we got this long candle. We had the big wick below the 200 moving average. And we opened up here. I'm thinking we're going to run back up. We didn't. We ended up selling off. I took it off. And what did I do? I flipped it short. And got blown up again. So at that point, I'm like, damn. What the hell is going on? All through here, I screwed up. All through here. It wasn't until I got this. Let's do this. Let's draw a line here. This I call FUBAR. Right? FUBAR. That's what this is. If you know what that means, I'm not going to repeat it, but if you know what FUBAR means, if you don't, Google it. It wasn't until here that I started trading like I had some sense. So I got in. We did pull back, but we held support. We held support. And I was able to take profit here and, take some. Well, this was just kind of messed up. I messed up the order up. But I bought again here. And again, it held support. And I took profit, and then sold it. So I did do pretty good after I kind of got my head screwed on straight. But that was FUBAR trading, right there. All right, so what saved me yesterday was the earnings trade. Okay, this was an earnings trade from AEHR. Now, it didn't come up on my scan. I had to go through and just see what was reporting after the close yesterday. And this was related to the semiconductors. And I'm like, hey, this thing should do pretty good. This could gap up. We're close to the 52-week high, which was 44.25. I'm like, this thing could gap and go. So I watched it, and yeah, it beat on revenue, beat on earnings, and it had good guidance. But for some reason, it sold off. But on the first 5-minute candle, it got bought back up. Like, I don't really care whether it has good news, good earnings, good guidance, bad guidance. All that matters is what the market does, how the market participants are going to trade it. So I saw the big dip down here, and it got bought back up. This candle opened, it tried to sell, it got bought back up. Once we got over the 200, I got in, half size. And then once we cleared the rest of this, I got in full size. Got my first target. We got a pullback, which we normally do. And it held, it didn't even test support. And rocketed up, hit my second target. Didn't quite get to my third target, which was around 47.50. I was looking for this to get between 48 and 50 before it pulled back. But it didn't quite get there. It did pull back. It did hold support. And so I added back. Not full size. I think I had 700 shares at this point. And it didn't go anywhere, but it still kind of held support. It didn't sell off. And if I didn't get the full move on earnings the night before, and if it holds support, I'm going to look for the gap up the next day. And that's exactly what we did on this. But you could see this earnings trade really saved my day on Netflix. And as you saw this week, I had a couple of, pretty decent hits to start the day. And we ended up getting nice trades. The key to the whole thing is staying in tune, staying locked in. And if your mindset gets screwed up, taking a break, refocus, come back, and get back to work. Okay? That's what I'm trying to teach you. That's what you're learning in the Trader Mindset course. And I nickname it the $1 Million Trader Mindset because that's what it is. But it's the only way you're going to be able to stay locked in and turn your bad days into good days. Like I said earlier, your winning trades have to pay for your losing trades before you can even start making a profit. There's no way to avoid losing trades. You will have mistakes that will cost you, and you'll have larger losses than you want. But if you keep your head on your shoulders, keep it screwed on straight, and you allow your winners to do what they need to do, they're going to pay for those losers. They're going to pay for your mistakes, and you're going to end up with profit. Now, it was only, right at $400, but that's better than a $2,000 loss. All right, so fast forward to today. Remember, we left the shares on here. Well, we'll come back to NVDA. I got a last piece on NVDA, but we'll come back to it. We need to go to AEHR. So this is me taking profit this morning. Once the market opened, we hit 45. Then 46.50. We go up, through 47, up through 48, and my final target was 50, or $50.48. But we didn't get past this. You can see, taking profit off here was the right thing to do. We lost a 9, so that was that. Everything started to look weak, and I just bailed out, took what I had. So, this was a solid trade. A solid trade here. Microsoft, Wasn't the best of trades. Just a little base hit. I was really anticipating this losing the 200 and actually selling off. Trying to go red on the day, but it didn't. The 200 held, and I got a little base hit. But yeah, this, you could probably say I was just trying something because I was, forecasting the market selling off. But this one didn't work. NVDA is the one that worked. So I did get NVIDIA on the loss of the 200. It bounced, but guess what? It held resistance. It held resistance, and just being patient, trusting the chart, trusting what I'm reading in the candlesticks and the chart, and trusting in technical analysis is what I do. And we ended up getting, nailing some profit targets. I ended up adding back, taking profit here. This was an accidental add because I was trying to put in a profit target and did a sell target versus buy target, so it just added back here. But that's fine. And we hit 2 more profit targets. This is my final target, and then we just hit it. So the final target was the linear regression channel. I'm not sure I want to do a reversal here, and it is lining up almost with 330, and it bouncing off of the linear regression channel, and people who are short needing to come within margin requirements may start buying at 330. And if we're bouncing off of this, it could be a pretty decent reversal. But that's something I'm going to keep in the back of my mind right now. If it wasn't Friday, maybe I would be all over it. But, the only doubt that I have in the back of my mind is that it's Friday evening and we may not have enough, buyers coming in off the linear regression channel to help support those that are covering. And I'm sure there'll be some people covering after 330, but just not sure how much. But that wraps up today. I did have an entry on Netflix that I moved over to my long-term account. That account is underwater. That's a whole nother story. You guys that were in chat today, you know the story. But, why not keep pouring water in a sinking ship? Maybe it'll sink faster. I don't know. But that's it for today. I hope you guys have a safe weekend. We'll be back at it Monday morning. We are starting to get into earnings season. The banks are reporting. You had several today. Banks are going to be reporting for the next 3 days. And I think then we'll start to see some pretty heavy hitters. And we're back in earnings season. So let's get ready.